I thought we could start with, oh, the weather outside is except it's not really frightful outside.
Deck the halls with rows of books. La 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 la.
It doesn't quite feel like Christmas time yet. Like we haven't even had Thanksgiving, despite what all of the stores are saying right now.
'Tis the season coming up, and whether you're shopping for a gift for yourself, a family member, or a friend, buying for a book lover can be a little bit tricky and a little bit fun.
Unless they tell you exactly what books they want, and then it just kind of takes the fun out of buying them for them.
Today, we got you covered.
Yeah, we're sharing a bunch of different themed gift sets for you to either buy your favorite book lover or for you to buy yourself. And some of them we think could even be DIY if you're more of the make it home kind of person.
Lots of crafty stuff. And don't forget about your audiobook lovers too, like me. There are many really good ideas for them.
Yeah. So some of these are fun, some are practical, some are very trendy right now, and we'll show you each one so you can kind of imagine what it would be like with you in your home or with your book lover.
So welcome to Espresso Shots and Epic Plots. I'm Diana.
And I'm her daughter Genevieve. Join us to talk about bookish gifts. Let's start with gifts that make reading magical for kids. And I found some really good ones for my now 10-year-old this year that I would love to share. The first one that has been the biggest hit since her birthday is the Once Upon a Book Club book subscription. There's tons of adult book subscriptions out there, which we'll talk about some later. This one I gravitated toward because it is specifically for tweens. So they curate books for ages 8 to 12. And then the way they really instill reading is they come with about 4 to 5 gifts, and the gifts are spread throughout the book. So this is the newest one. She was so excited, she already started reading it. And what they do is within the pages, they actually put a sticky note that says, open your gift. And then each of the gifts has a page number written on it. And they have to do with the story. Like she starts guessing like, oh, I think it's gonna be this. And so far the gifts have been really quality. From her previous book box, she got a whole wizard cloak, she got a hat that she wears all the time, and she's really been enjoying the books. The last 2 books we got, not only did they come with the gifts, but they also, this particular one came with a scratch and sniff sticker that was the scent of one of the dragons. It's a lavender scent apparently. When she told me, I know, when she told me it was dragon scented, I was like, I don't know if I want to smell it.
I thought it was sulfur.
Yeah, but it was the scent of one of the dragons. And then in the previous book, it had a QR code to play a snippet of a song that the 2 girls in the book kept singing.
Fun.
And so it makes the reading interactive.
And that's a great idea for grandparents.
So it's every other month, and you can sign up for the bi-monthly, or you can just sign up for 3, or you can sign up for a whole year, which is 6 books. You know what book is coming, although she never wants to know. She doesn't want me to tell her what it's about. Yeah, and they seem to be a variety. You can also go on their website and buy individual boxes too. So if you just want to try it out and pick like certain books.
Cost?
It's usually cheaper the more you get. 1 month is probably, I will put the price up as what I'll do. They do have a young adult and adult subscription too that operates very similarly, but for tweens, I really like this because she was down a graphic novel path and I wanted her to start reading, which is fine, no problem with graphic novels, but this really encouraged her to like, oh, I want to read to this page so I can get to the prize, the gift, whatever it is. This has been a big hit at home.
Yeah, so. It's never too early to get your kids started on reading.
It's true.
Another idea that might be fun for your kids is a book stamp for their own book. You can get them all customized. This book belongs to, kids like can I stand?
Yeah, go for it.
Kids like doing, or if you want to get even fancier than a stamp, there's the embosser, which is a lot of fun. That probably makes them feel like their books are very, very important and special.
The other thing I like to recommend for kids is magnetic bookmarks. These are my preferred type of bookmarks. My daughters constantly were reading in bed and she can never find her bookmark. But if you have a magnetic bookmark that's stuck to the pages, then you never lose. If you drop the book, the bookmark is still in there because I don't know how many times she's asking me for one of my bookmarks because she can't find one. So I highly recommend the clip over magnetic bookmarks for kids too.
Good idea. And then stickers. What kid does not like stickers? There's lots of book-related stickers, Harry Potter or Wicked. Man, Wicked is really becoming a thing. I'm sure there's stickers out there, and they can decorate their books, or they can decorate a bookshelf with them, their water bottles, their backpack. That's another fun thing for kids.
Speaking of shelves, the TBR cart that I put together, I picked a very gray, subdued color, but I could easily see picking like a pink or a blue or a green or a yellow and putting that in a kid's room as like their cart to have. And then she could slap some stickers on it too. Maybe I'll let her decorate my cart with some stickers.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Little reading light is also a good thing to have her.
Yeah, like nice little night lights and things like that. With a timer, if they can have a timer. Her current light has a timer, and then when she falls asleep, then it goes off. The light goes off.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Another fun but very special thing that you could do for your child or your grandchild is make their own special book. I believe I made this with mixed books, but you can go into any one of those. I had a little story idea, and I wrote her a little story, reminded her of the incident that occurred that made me think of this story. And I found all of these pictures and I edited them heavily. I'm not selling this or making money on it, but I don't want to infringe on any copyrights. But I actually found some pretty amazing pictures that told this story, I thought, wonderfully. I created a book just for my granddaughter and gave it to her for Christmas one year, and it's a pretty special book in the family. And I have actually thought about giving it to my grandnephews and grandniece as well, because once you put it together, you can print up as many copies as you want. Yeah. So fun thing to do for special if you're feeling creative. Next, let's build the ultimate cozy reading experience. All things that make reading feel like a little retreat. So one of the things that you might notice with all of our videos is we always have a mug of tea or coffee or whatever your favorite hot beverage is, and they're always book-related mugs. There's a lot of fun ones that I've gotten off of Etsy.
Who doesn't need a coffee mug every once in a while?
And especially when it's a statement that you are a reader. Like this one says, "My weekend is all booked."
Speaking of the mugs, I also have a mug warmer that mine is shaped like a donut, just for like it literally has a donut on the outside. Not, that it's just shaped like a donut. And it's a USB one. I think the idea being that you could plug it into a computer on a desktop. I just have it plugged in next to the end table downstairs so that when I'm sitting on my chaise and reading with my warm blanket, I can put my ceramic mug on my USB charged portable whatever mug warmer, and then keep
that drink hot.
That beverage hot while I'm reading.
There's also nice little cozy things like a pair of warm socks, comfy socks, perhaps a blanket, and reading gloves.
Yeah, that was a new one for me. And in my opinion, if your house is so cold that you need reading gloves, then you should probably turn the fireplace on. But
you might be at the dog park.
That's true.
With the dog running around outside reading your book.
Yes, but the reading gloves, they're like the fingertipless. Is that the word I'm looking for? So that you can still turn your pages, but they keep your hands warm. So
now, and the blanket, this is a great
wearable blanket.
It's a wearable wizard blanket.
This is my favorite. My daughter tries to steal it from me all the time. You have your blanket, but you need your arms out to read. Whereas this is like I still have my arms in the blanket. I believe there's also something called a slanket, which is that's a name brand thing, which is the same idea. Like it's a wearable blanket. Every reader loves a good, comfy blanket, and I would say I preferred this type of material of blanket.
It's like a velour.
Yeah, I'm not a...
Well, it's a velour there's this fleece on the inside.
I would say, definitely those materials. I'm not a huge fan of the knitted ones. They can be warm like cable knit, but there's too many holes and things get stuck in them. That's just me personally. Know your reader before you buy them.
But a little book themed of some type of blanket, I'm sure there's all kinds available.
she bought me. They were literally called the coziest socks in the world. And I thought they were kind of silly at first because they were not a pattern that I would wear. And then I put them on.
Yeah.
They really were the comfiest socks I've ever had. And they're my favorite house socks. Thin enough that I could wear shoes over them, but I mean, I don't. I wear them inside the house all the time. My toes are the first thing that I want to keep wearing when I'm reading.
This is an odd looking thing. What is this?
This is a book light or a reading light, but it can go around your neck. You're not clipping things to your book, so you're not damaging the book with the book light. And you can also choose, it has different brightnesses. I'm not going to turn it on right now. You can have one or two or both of them on, and it's like hands-free lighting. So.
USB charged?
Yep, USB
Nice.
charged.
If you need reading glasses or your reader needs reading glasses, I had a pair of reading glasses that actually had little lights on them. You can probably find them USB chargeable now, but yeah, it's nice. I can lay in bed and not keep the hubs awake while I'm reading.
And then they're called reader caddies or reader valets. Those are the two words I've heard for those. For when you're laying down and reading and you can keep your mug on one side and then have your book. This one is themed off of Legends and Lattes, the world of Legends and Lattes, and Bookshops and Bone Dust, and then the Brigands and Bread Knives just came out. So this is a book themed one, but I know they sell these just in like plain wood and things like that. A reading caddy or reading valet.
And then there's always the scented candles and teas that you can sit down with, and you talked about the mug warmer, so if you get your reader a nice themed mug, you can tuck some teas in there. Or
about a DIY gift. You get a bunch of little things and put them together like a little kit and like a little gift basket or something.
For a reader. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Now let's talk about gifts for that person that really wants to make their bookshelf aesthetics be on point and top notch. So this section is for your readers who want their shelves to look like art. Gifts that really just enhance the bookish experience, but don't have anything to do with reading.
I got this book nook. This is a puzzle, actually, and I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed doing this. It took like 9 pieces to make that tiny little menu stand inside. It's crazy, but I found it so therapeutic and it's so fun. It lights up. This one, there's bookshops in the background, but I've seen them garden themed. There's all kinds of different themes.
You use it as a book.
This is like a bookend. Yeah. This is a really fun type of puzzle if you have a reader that also likes to do puzzles.
And were you listening to an audiobook while you assembled it?
I probably was. Now,
Do you know about how long it took you to assemble this one?
Well, what I did was, this was my after dinner treat to myself. I would sit down and I would work on this, and I literally had to stop myself from continuing to finish it. So it took me probably 4 or 5 days.
Okay, nice. That's a good idea. I do like those, and I think they're adorable too.
They are. This one's so
I could see on like a shelf full of books, and then you kind of get to stop and look in. And something she bought for me last year, and you'll have to tell everyone where you got them, but I do think this is another opportunity for DIY. These are ornaments that honestly you could hang up any time of year. Not like they're color themed or anything like that. One of them is actual pages, and it tells you what book they're from. And then this one is actually film. It says it's from the film vault, so I feel like it's images from the movie of the same book. And they're just curled up. They're just like adorably curled up. I don't even think they're glued. And then put inside of one of those plastic or glass Christmas ornament empty bulbs. And then a cute little tag to tell you what book it's from. This could easily be DIY. I know they sell these ornament fillers and things like that.
We'll have to desecrate a book, though.
Yes, you will have to desecrate a book. But it's a cute way to have old kids' books, like when she's done reading them for nostalgia purposes, knowing, like some of those books I really don't want to get rid of. Where did you buy these from?
I think that was at one of the local festivals that we went to, like the Great Trails Festival or Yankee Peddler Festivals.
But I could easily see these being a DIY thing.
Additionally, I got this bracelet as well. This is a book by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The pages are rolled up and used as beads within
I'm assuming
the
resin
bracelet.
is probably involved too.
Yeah, because it feels very solid.
Yes. Yeah,
and
they're not going to come undone.
Tag. So I got this from the same person that did. So there's a lot of things you could do.
The last cute bookish aesthetic thing is a book light, like literally a light that looks like a book, not a light that goes on a book, which is adorable. And I think it's too soft to read against. Like, it's a very soft lighting. It would be good for like a night light, but I do think it would be an adorable light to have on a bookshelf, just if you had space like on top of a stack of books.
To highlight your pretty books.
Right, exactly. Or fairy lights. I've seen a lot of people line their books in fairy lights.
But they make fairy lights that are all different kinds of things.
All different colors, stars, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody has little books hanging.
Probably,
lights. While scrolling on my computer, I had this recommendation pop up.
Okay.
And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I have got to get this for Genevieve. I thought this is just the funniest thing. I didn't tell her what it was until she unwrapped it, but it is a bookmark. And when you put it in a book, it looks like the demon is trying to claw its way out. Unique bookmarks like this are all over the place.
But personally, I wouldn't actually use it as a bookmark. I like it more
decoratively
on the shelf. Like, it almost look like something's coming out of the shelves because it's too fat.
It
for
is
the books.
fat, yeah.
So I have it between books on the bookshelf.
Yes,
It does really kind of decorate the bookshelf.
So I think that was a fun, and it wasn't too terribly expensive. Of course, some readers aren't all about being cozy or having gorgeous shelves. They like to be organized. They like to track everything, annotate everything. There are all kinds of gifts for what we're going to call the intentional reader.
I just got into annotating this year, and I'm going to talk about some of my go-to annotation materials, and I just put them all in a regular pencil pouch. They fit in, just a standard pencil pouch like I see my students have. I think it's more about the color. So typically when we think Post-it notes, we think bright yellow, orange, and those are not really the type of flags and Post-it notes and highlighters that you want to see in your book. I suggest aiming for muted colors for Post-it notes, muted colors for your sticky tabs. I have all different types. There's some where you can still read the words behind them. They're subtle. They blend in. It's not like a glaring flag in your face. The highlighters I use are also in like the blushes and pinks and beiges. You can still see them, but they don't feel so damaging like when you were in college and you were like highlighting your textbooks and things like that. And then very fine tip. I think the pens that I use are 0.2, like really fine tip pens. I'll write with the Post-it notes with a 0.7, but when I write in a book, the lines are so close together that if you want to make notes in the sides and things like that, then you really want like a fine tip pen. Those are my base. Those are the main things I use. So the Post-its, the markers, the annotating markers, and then the highlighters in the neutral colors. I have seen they sell transparent Post-its for people that are like afraid to write in their book. You can put a transparent Post-it note over it, and then you can remove it if you want. So that's the thing. I like to write in my books though. That's another DIY. You could buy all the materials and put them together in a cute little thing. So.
Something that she got for me this year for my birthday was not this one, but a reading planner, which I think is really neat. It's a reading journal. There's challenges and what you want to do each week. They're all different as you look at them.
Yeah.
I haven't started mine because I wanted to start it in the beginning of the year, but that's just a really neat. I'm not a big annotator, but I do recognize that my memory of the book and what I'm getting out of it is lacking. I'd like to be able to at least write down, the main characters and what the storyline was.
What you liked and disliked about it.
Yeah.
The one that I got for us for next year is the Clever Fox Reading Journal. I have been using just their regular planner this year as a reading journal. I've kind of makeshifted it to be a reading journal just because it has a calendar and weekly pages in there, but I'm excited to use the actual reading journal because it has space for your score rating and, judging different aspects of it, your thoughts on the book.
The date you read it.
Right.
Another thing that's just sort of fun, if you know of somebody who uses reading glasses or regular glasses, I got this from my husband a while back. It's just a little eyeglass stand that he leaves by his desk. You can leave this by your books in your book nook or wherever, and you can always find your glasses here. So I just thought that was a really cute thing.
So I mentioned how I really like the magnetic bookmarks. So again, those are the ones I recommend. But another bookmark that I appreciated when my daughter was really young, her daycare used to make all kinds of gifts for us. And a lot of times they were like her footprint or her handprint print and we'd have to find something to do with it. But one year they actually took pictures of her standing there in cute poses, cut her out, laminated it, and then put a tassel on the top of it. And they gave me this set of like 3 or 4 bookmarks that are her as, I think, she was maybe like 2. And those are my favorite
That's a great
bookmarks.
idea.
Yeah, even though they're not magnetic, they are my favorite bookmarks.
Are they front and back? Did they do front and back?
I don't think
That'd be
so.
really
That would be
cute
really cute.
if
That
you
would be,
could.
yeah, if you'd have to get them to hold. I don't know how you get a 2-year-old to hold still for that long. But really simple. I know that if you have a Cricut, printing things, bookmarks, and making bookmarks with a Cricut is really easy. 3D printing bookmarks, I've seen people 3D print bookmarks, but anything you can do to personalize
Get your money's
it.
worth out of that.
Well, that too, yeah.
$4,000 printer.
I'm hoping that by her using a reading journal, she can, you know, like you said, keep better track. But if you're more of a techie reader, there's tons of apps out there. There's Goodreads, Fable. One of the newer ones on the market is Storygraph. I've actually been using all of them in tandem to see what I like about them. Storygraph has a plus version. These are all baseline is free, but Storygraph Plus, you could buy a gift subscription for your nerdy stats reader that wants to know how many pages they read or what their genres are or if they're diversifying. And the plus subscription gives you access to all kinds of different data. I just use the basic version.
Interesting.
But for the year, you could get a gift plus subscription for your favorite reader. Your data nerd reader, that is. So we also felt that audiobook readers need their own love. And you might be thinking, you know, everything's digital. What do I buy an audiobook? Well, we have some gifts for you. They deserve their own category, and these gifts will make their reading experience easier and more comfortable and more enjoyable. First, I think the number one thing, in my opinion, because I do listen to audiobooks, I like a good noise canceling set of headphones so that I can just block out the world and get into my book. But Mom's going to talk about a different type of headphone.
I was introduced to what they call bone conducting headphones, and they hook over your ears and they press up against right in front of your ear, so nothing is going inside of your ear. They are so invisible. My hair covers them up. A lot of times people don't even know I'm wearing them, and I will like go grocery shopping and be listening to a book. My hubs gets really upset with me when I'm wearing my other headphones and he starts talking to me and I'm just like not even, can't hear a thing.
I usually have to warn my husband that I'm putting my headphones in and he has to wave me down to get my attention. So I can see the benefit.
They're Bluetooth, they're rechargeable, and you just tap the side and it pauses everything.
Obviously, there's subscriptions to things like Audible, but I wanted to mention some other ones that are not owned by Amazon, but I have an Audible subscription, so I can't knock it too much. So one that I've heard of recently is Libro FM, so it's libro.fm. This is similar to Audible where it's credits and you can buy a certain number of gift credits and each book is a credit. But what this company does is part of the proceeds that you pay go towards like a local independent indie bookstore or go to an organization. You're giving back instead of just purchasing things digitally. So Libro FM is another digital audiobook option. And
then you got me that gift certificate to Chirp, which I really enjoyed. She got me $50 gift card or something, and I got, I think, 4 or 5 books.
They're cheap. I know.
Yeah, and then they're like new releases or very popular books. They come and go, so you get notifications, and they're like $2, $3, $4, and then you can get the regular price audio books that are $40, $30, $40.
And so that one's like you're getting a gift card and it's almost like you're using it at a store, like you're buying it at whatever cost they're selling.
The only thing that I found interesting about Chirp was I need to be on my computer to buy
you can't do it from your phone?
I have not figured out how to do it. It's like my library is on my Chirp app on my phone. But to go purchase books, I have to be on the app on a computer. So if you want to get that for somebody, you want to be sure that they're like computer literate.
Okay. I think another great thing, as we mentioned that Book Nook, some other great things to get your audiobook lovers would be puzzles, coloring books. There's a new movement in what's called reverse coloring books, where it's a whole page that's colored and you outline things. So you're creating the image
actual image.
Yeah, anyway, but I think those are things that mindless things that you can do while you are listening to your audiobook. Because there's definitely things that I can do when I'm listening to my audiobooks, like, drive my car, take a shower, get ready in the morning. But I can't grade papers and listen to audiobooks.
If it comes to reading anything else at the same time.
Yeah, my brain can only go so many directions. So any of those types of Zen, mindless kind of tasks, and they definitely have book-themed jigsaw puzzles and book-themed coloring books that I'm sure your audiobook lovers would like. So.
You probably have also noticed every time we're making these videos that we're wearing a book-related t-shirt. And I got most of mine from Etsy again. Just go digging around and there are lots of fun options to choose from. There's one thing to see somebody carrying their big novel around and they don't realize, I'm shopping and listening to Tolstoy or whatever.
You've never done that.
So it kind of lets people know that, you're a book lover too.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember when you got me these. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
So, and I'm not gonna lie, again, this was one of those things where I was like, what was she thinking? But I use this all the time. So there's that famous, just one more chapter, when you're reading your book. So these are Bluetooth sleep masks. And there are, the headphones are right, it doesn't fall exactly on my ears.
It's probably more of the bone conduction type.
No, it's just it's just loud in your ears.
Okay.
It's not, they're not that fancy. On most audiobook apps, there's an option to stop the book at the end of the chapter, so I make sure I turn that little sleep timer on. I often fall asleep and will have to re-listen to it, but it gets me in that, I just want that one more chapter, but I know I need to go to bed. And so I'll hook this up and fall asleep listening to the book that I was listening to, and at least remember some of it. But this is another good one. It's also really handy if you want to white noise and the person next to you doesn't like white noise.
And the mask, the way it is on the inside, it's molded, so your eyelashes, I hate that when your eyelashes
when they tickle.
Hitting.
Doesn't do any of that. So.
Well, I'm glad I did good on that one.
Yeah, but it was one of those, I'm going to fall asleep listening to it, but I still do it anyway.
And finally, let's talk about gifts that surprise your book lover again and again and again all year long.
These are book specific, but you're not picking the book. So these are different types of book subscription boxes, which I've looked heavily into. There's some different types, I would say. The first one is very specific. My pretty books, as I call them, I am subscribed to Owl Crate. Specifically, I'm subscribed to the Owl Crate Adult. They started out as fantasy specific, so these are fantasy books. They do have quarterly subscriptions that are romance, horror, and sci-fi. So quarterly meaning they only do 4 books a year. These are every month. You don't know what book you're getting and you don't get to pick it. You pay for a monthly subscription. They give you some teasers. There's people on the internet that make guesses about the books and they're usually right. So I usually know what book I'm getting because I like to know what I'm getting. I don't want to buy a book that I don't know.
Big on surprises.
Right. This is the October book. I just got it, so I haven't read this one yet. They always look very different than the original cover. They always have nice edges. They have end papers. The naked hardcovers are usually very nice too. Fairy Loot is another really popular one. I have purchased some Fairy Loot books. I got these on Pango Books, which is a used book selling app. These are Fairy Loot. Same idea though. This looks nothing like the original book. They come with these cards where they tell you about the artists, beautiful edges. The final one, I don't own any, but Illumicrate is another one of the big ones. They started originally as fantasy. They also have young adult subscriptions, young adult fantasy, and then many of them have quarterly horror and sci-fi genres. None of them are really just fiction. All of the ones that I just mentioned are fantasy, horror, sci-fi. So
how have they done in the books that you've gotten? Have you been?
So you can skip up to 4 times a year. I definitely with Owl Crate, I believe Fairy Loot and Illumicrate operate on. Actually, Illumicrate I think has unlimited skips if I remember right. So if I'm not interested in the book, I skip it. I've gotten 4 out of the 6 or 7. I think I've only skipped 2 or 3, and I'm excited. I'm getting this month's. I'm definitely getting the next month's. you know, and so I'm getting the next couple months. I've been really happy. I was kind of on the fence. This is with shipping. They're about, Owl Crate is $45. You can get subscription boxes that come with stuff. Those are more expensive. You could get your book lover a subscription like that. Illumicrate, I don't think has any wait lists right now. And you can also go on their websites and purchase like overstock of books that they have.
Oh, cool.
So you can get past book boxes.
Yeah.
So these, you don't know what you're getting. So you don't get to pick. Yeah, it's supposed to be a surprise.
Okay.
We talked about Once Upon a Book Club. They do have an adult and a YA version as well. So I get the tween one. I've been really happy with it. These, you do know what you're getting, but you don't get to pick. Like you sign up for the monthly.
This is what's coming this month.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can skip. So you'd have to look into their skipping policy. I believe their adult and YA is monthly though, not bi-monthly.
Okay.
Another fancy book option would be Broken Binding. Broken Binding is another fantasy specific. They also do sci-fi. This one is series specific, which I like. So when you sign up for Broken Binding, you are committing to getting an entire series. So they're older books.
Oh.
Because the downside of Owl Crate and Fairy Loot is if you get the first book in a series, they don't just give you the next book. You have to pay for it when they make it. Whereas Broken Binding, right, exactly. Broken Binding, you're committing to getting, like let's say it's a 4-book series, those are the books you're gonna get for 4 months in a row. And then probably some of the more well-known ones, Book of the Month is well-known, and I would say the one that I prefer, I'm subscribed to Aardvark. So Aardvark is similar to Book of the Month where they drop a list of, I believe it's about 5 books each month.
And you tell them what your genre is, don't you?
No, they release the books. You get to pick.
You get to pick.
And you can skip. Like let's say they charge you and you basically get a credit for whatever book you want. And then if you don't want any of those books, they just don't charge you the next month. And
are they all new releases?
Yes, they're all, and some of them are early releases. Like you can get it from Aardvark a couple days before the other one. And it's a pretty mixed variety. They usually have one fantasy, one horror, one romance, one lit fic. They try to have a wide variety.
Okay.
And you can get past month books until they've sold out essentially.
Okay.
So let's
that
say
would probably be the kind of thing that we had gotten for my mother-in-law.
And so whenever I go into Half Price Books, all I see on the shelves are Book of the Month. Like they have their little logo in the corner of all of their books. Aardvark does a really good job of hiding their logo on the cover. It's in the top corner there. Like they blend it into the cover of the book. Okay, so it's not as in your face. I think that's one of the reasons I like them. I also tend to like their titles. They're more the types of books that I'm interested in.
Okay.
I believe it's $15. It's either $15 or $17. I'll put the prices up. And then each book after that is only $10.
Oh, that's a bargain.
It is. And you can get
all hardbacks.
Yes, and you can get up to 3 books in a box. Oh. So that's our roundup for our bookish themed gifts. Hopefully you got some ideas. Hopefully you were writing things down and opening your wallet, ready to spend some money.
And we have not been compensated or sponsored by any of these ideas. They're just things that have worked out for us. So if you have come up with something that you've given a book lover or bought for yourself that we didn't cover, please let us know because we have all this stuff and more. So if you loved this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss another video of ours, wrap-ups, the games we play, all the craziness we have, all things bookish.
And we'd love to hear from you. So drop in the comments what you're interested in buying, what we should add to our list.
Thank you so much for watching and happy reading
and shopping. Or if we talk over each other, we just can't make any mistakes.
Okay. Let's start with good. Raising your kids around books will help your readers, help them grow confidence. Let me start that again. Let's start with the gifts for the young readers in your, let's start with gifts that make reading magical for gifts.
You just said for gifts. Do you want me to start?
Yes, you start. I give up. You know, the little...
Oh, it didn't show up,
didn't, but...
It's on a box on my lap. It probably works better on paper.
Yeah. Yes.
I do.
Comic books, not comic books.
I don't want you in here anymore. I'm sorry. You're being obnoxious.
Can Rob
But
hear it? What can people around you
he's
hear it while it's
usually
playing?
snoring too loudly to hear it. But anyway.
Don't forget to like or subscribe so
Like
that you
and subscribe,
like,
not or.
like
Don't do either. Do both.